We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll,
No.
we'll do it live. Do it live.
We're going live. We're going live. Could you guys see that? And you guys could hear it too? Cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our first live stream. My name is Danny, International Men of Leisure. We're recording this. We're testing this out. I got a couple of guys from our Patreon group that were up late, obviously, that volunteered to help me guinea pig this. I was actually kind of testing it out on Patreon, so a couple of them saw it pop up live and jumped in. Yeah, man, I installed the software yesterday, and I spent a good part of the day learning how to use it. And I think this is going to be really cool. Let me just do a couple tests while you guys are on. I've got an iPad set up over to the side. That's got the chat going on. When we do these live on YouTube, the chat will be up there so you guys can see what's being said. For now, however, iPad, Patreon, you guys, we've got an iPhone set up. There it is. Got a GoPro, there that is, and then back to the main camera. So the idea is future streams, we're going to set a day and a time so that you guys will know when this is going to occur. And we're going to go down, we're going to sit at probably Pear or Sambar, Soy 5 and Pratamnak. And then I can do the stream. We'll do Q&A, but I'm going to set the cameras up. So like one camera's going that way down the street. This camera's going down that way on the street. And if we see anything interesting going on while we're sitting there, we can turn the cameras around. You guys can see what's going on and follow along with the fun. For now, though, we're doing it from the home office here in Jomtien Beach. And yes, if you haven't noticed, do sharks complain? No, of course not. They're up early, biting stuff, chasing shit, and being scary. Be a shark. Attack the day. All right, listen. Everything seems like it's going. You guys can hear me good? Cool. I've got a microphone. I don't know where it went. I have a feeling the 9-year-old hauled off with it one day and started playing with one of Dad's electronic gadgets. And it's probably gone forever. So we're probably going to have to do a Lazada order. But good. You guys can hear me. The camera's working. The stream looks good on Patreon. You guys got questions? Fire away. Let's talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. I don't care whether it's Thailand, whatever. So, Jamie, how often do you go down to Soy 6? Not as often as you would think. When you guys come into town, if you guys text me and say, hey, I'm in town, I'm going down to Soy 6, you want to come? Of course. I'll go down there and have a great time with you guys. But everything changes when you live here. Now, I used to be just like you guys. I remember looking at the calendar going, oh my God, I got 34 days, 33 days, 32 days until my next trip into town. And you'd sit there you'd be thinking, all right, what's the first thing I'm going to do when I hit Pattaya? I'm going to drop my bag at the hotel, and then I'm going to go. And usually for us, the first thing we did was go to Soy 6. I will tell you, however, that street is changing radically. It's changed a lot over the last couple of years. You know, Soy 6 really used to be a buddy street, really. I mean, especially back in 2012, 2014, 15, back then. It was a street that you go with all of your buddies when you got into town. You go hang out, and a lot of the bars were owned by the same guy. Hey, we're going to go to Rick's bar, hang out, see how he's doing, check in. And it wasn't as, I have to use my words carefully because we're going to put this up on YouTube, hopefully. It wasn't as business oriented as it is now, meaning it was a place that you could go and sit, and yeah, there were girls working in the bars, but the primary focus wasn't necessarily the girls. The primary focus was you, your buddies, having drinks, having a good discussion, and just hanging out. Now, it's very business oriented, at least my mind. I'm not saying you can't have fun there. You definitely can have fun. But as a resident here now, there's better places for me to go. That and Big Boss, the girlfriend, does not love it when I go down there. Honey, where are you going tonight? We're just going down to Soy 6 for an hour or two. Answer your phone when I call. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that's That's pretty much the answer. I'll go down when you guys are in town, but it's not my first choice of destination here in town. Where do you go? Where do we go? Honestly, you guys can probably tell off the videos, and I know you guys come into town. I'm always begging you to come over into Pratamnak and Jomtien. That's primarily where we hang out now. We're down on Soi 5 a couple times of the week, and there's a couple reasons for that. A, it's not business oriented like downtown. It's still a place that you can go and sit with your buddies, have a good conversation, and nobody's looking at you cross-eyed because you're not buying lady drinks. It's not that way over here, at least not yet. There's definitely some demographic shifts going on. I've talked about that on public YouTube videos before. You can see it. I mean, there are so many condominium buildings being built over on the Pratamnak and Jomtien beach side of town that and the expat population is going to continue to climb as such. You see a lot of bars being built over here. Rompo Market is full. It's on fire right now. We were down there last week and had a great time. Yeah, so primarily we hang out on Soi 5 in Pratamnak and at some of the bars in Jomtien, even not Jomtien, going up to the beach bars. I just did a video about that, I think 2 weeks ago. You guys on Patreon saw the extended version. That's it. I mean, you really do actually get dialed in here to having a pretty traditional life, even with the entertainment districts downtown. No, it asked me how long that took. I'm assuming that you meant how long did it take for me that I wasn't going downtown after I moved here. Well, when we first moved here, we lived closer to town, and it was a lot easier. I could jump on the back of a motorcycle and be in LK Metro in under 10 minutes. Now I live farther out in Jomtien, so farther out. Now it takes 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's how it gets. So I don't know. I was probably an animal for the first 6 months that I lived here. I mean, I was downtown an awful lot. But I think that's kind of the norm. I think a lot of people move over here and get downtown and spend probably more time than they need to after they relocate. But you do get it out of your system. I am not one of those guys, however, that is on Facebook bad-mouthing the entertainment districts or speaking negatively about the area. That is a thing. You see a lot of guys that come in here, and for one reason or the other, they just sour on the place. Go on Facebook, the Expats for Pattaya page, and read the comments. I kind of shake my head because if you don't like it here, why are you here? And if you're not here, why are you on the Facebook page for Patreons the Facebook page for expats on Pattaya commenting? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I've always been under the opinion that if it gets to the point where you're bitter and you don't like a place, then don't move here. But Pattaya does have a lot of haters, for sure. There's a lot of people that love to spread hate about this city, and I'm not sure that all of them have even been here. Yeah. All right, so he's asking about Jomtien and Pratamnak and if it's a lot different than downtown. Yeah, it is a lot different, and it's not that far away. Like if you look at a map, you've got Pattaya up here, and then you've got Pratamnak and Jomtien and Na Jomtien all kind of extending down to the south. And the farther south you go, the more normal things get. Meaning, you get down into Na Jomtien, there's no beer bars, there's no gentlemen's clubs, there's none of that nonsense. That's primarily expats and Thai neighborhoods. It's not the party district, meaning you don't see a lot of tourists coming in for 2 weeks that want to hang out with the ladies. That's not why they're down here. Jomtien is got a good mix of everything. Pratamnak, same thing too. Pratamnak is a little bit more, I guess, upscale. A lot of people call it the Beverly Hills of Pattaya. I don't know that I would go that far, but it is an awful nice district. You got restaurants, you've got bars that are actually nice, legit pubs without, again, the bar fine or lady drink element. It's just a more relaxed atmosphere. Like, I would have no problem with it, telling anybody you can bring your wife and kids and hang out in Jomtien and Pratamnak, and you're going to have a fairly decent vacation. Versus, I'm not sure staying downtown in South Pattaya with your wife and kids is a good idea. I'm not sure staying in South Pattaya for anyone right now is a good idea. That's a whole different story. Do I miss the Dominican Republic? I do miss the Dominican Republic a little bit. Not as much as you would think, though, and I'll tell you why. When we moved over here 4 years ago, we had a big group of friends in the Dominican Republic. We owned a bar there, and believe it or not, quite a few of our friends actually moved over here roughly the same time that we moved over. There were things going on in the DR. Thailand had just reopened again, and everybody, it was just kind of like, hey, I remember I want to go back over to Thailand, and word starts spreading that you get 3 or 4 guys that are moving over there. The next thing you know, hey man, I'm gonna go over and take a look. But yeah, we've got a lot of the guys from Sosua. Mateo lives here. Billy from Philly's still here. Eric's here. I see him almost daily. Alphonse is here. Scott was just here, just went home. So it's a little surreal in that we walked down to go have lunch on Soy 5 in Pratamnak. It's almost like being back in the DR that we have most of our friends are living over here. The ones that aren't living here, we miss those guys a lot. So Tad and Ty and Phil and Kurt and those guys, that would be the reason to go back. Other than that, probably not. I'm good. What's the first thing you do? I'll answer that one on Patreon. Greg, flights over there seem a little bit. Greg's asking me about flights from North America over to Thailand. My best advice is this: as few connections as possible. Uh, every time that you add a connection onto a flight, even if it's cheaper, you're risking delay and missing that connection or the flight being canceled. It's just inevitably it's going to make your trip longer. So try to get something with one connection. And that's fairly easy these days. You've got Qatar that's flying a ton of flights from all over North America. Obviously, you connect in Doha, Qatar, and then you've got a direct flight into Bangkok. That's a good way to do it. I'll tell you what, another good way to do is the last couple trips I've made, I've used Condor slash Lufthansa and fly from Bangkok over to Frankfurt, Germany, and Frankfurt, Germany into New York. I think they fly into maybe Miami or Charlotte now too. That actually, I think that's one of the fastest ways that I've done it. Maybe a 3 hour layover in Frankfurt and then direct down into Bangkok. It's nice. That was a good airline too. I didn't mind that. The other thing you can do is you can fly direct Philippine Airlines from JFK, LAX, San Francisco, Seattle, I think, directly into Manila. Now, that is a long flight. You're talking like 16 hours in the air. And then you're going to have to connect through Manila, which is a little bit of a pain. Just talking about compression socks online. Yes. Yeah. Hey, thanks for reminding me. So we lost one of our members from the group over on Patreon. Good friend of ours named Todd. Todd was living in Angeles City and he flew back to the States, got off the plane and had soreness in one of his legs. I hope I get the story right. Like a week later, he took another flight out to Seattle and got off the airplane and had a heart attack. And what had happened was he had a blood clot form during that long haul flight from the Philippines and didn't know it. And it moved from his leg up into his shoulder and then down and hit his heart and killed him with a heart attack. So we were talking on the group over on Patreon a couple months ago about the use of compression socks during a long haul flight. I mean, look, you don't win any style points with them, but they're very effective. I ordered a pair off of Lazada a couple weeks ago, so when I go back to the States, I am definitely going to wear them. Let me fix this. This thing kind of slid off. There we go. Favorite place in Thailand? Favorite place in Thailand right now? Koh Chang. Hands down. Koh Chang, 100%. Let me tell you why. Koh Chang is one of those places that you can still go and get lost. Lost in a good way. Meaning you can go down there, you can rent a scooter, and it's a bigger island than what most of you guys realize. But you can get off of the backside of that island and 45 minutes not see anybody. End up down at a little beach by yourself. That is Koh Chang. But there's also, the developed side of the island. There's huge resorts, great restaurants. The beaches are absolutely beautiful, but it doesn't have the mass tourism, meaning you don't see buses of Chinese people, you don't see all the Indian guys. It's very, very low impact tourism. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We've been down there, I think we've been down there probably 6 times in the last 3 years and absolutely love it. Wild monkeys all over the place. The ocean, the water's beautiful. There's waterfalls, and there is 2 small entertainment districts, which are a lot of fun. You guys on Patreon, go over to the collections page and go down and check out the Ultimate Guide to Koh Chang. You'll see what I'm talking about. Koh Chang is definitely probably our favorite place in Thailand right now, for sure. How does Londa and your daughter like it over there? I think they love it. I think you're going to hear that from her firsthand. She's been playing around with starting her own YouTube channel. So we've done a couple example videos with her, but it's difficult. She's finding out how difficult it is. Try it. Think about something compelling to say, hold the camera up, talk for 5 minutes without flubbing your words, without saying anything silly, and then play it back and watch yourself. And then let me know whether or not you'd post it. This is what she just went through a couple days ago. And she went, oh my God, this is really good. I did a great job. And then we played it and she's looking at it. She goes, oh, no. I can't post it. She did put a short up. Then it's pretty good. You guys can find it. I'll put a link for it down in the description of this. But yeah, we'll see. I think it would be really good. I want her to do it because she's got a very unique story coming out of the Caribbean. Never really did any international travel until she met me. And I know, right? It's either a good run of luck or a bad run of luck. But yeah, so she started traveling with me, and then I come home one day and went, "Hey, guess what? Want to move to Thailand?" Yeah, she's got a good story, especially coming out of there. What does she do? Friends? Yeah, she actually does have friends here. She's got a couple really good friends, believe it or not. Thai friends. I was worried about that when we moved over here. I didn't know how that would go. Obviously, she's a person of color. She'll slap me for saying that. Just say I'm black. Playing around. But the problem is that, that we have the African girls over here, especially, in Bangkok, down Nana Plaza. We're starting to see them over here now on Beach Road and even walking around town. So they go out to dinner, they go out to the club, and she'll have guys coming up asking her which country from Africa she's from. She gets pissed. She's like, I'm not from Africa, I'm from the Caribbean. By the way, my husband doesn't want you talking to me. Go away. Does she have a problem? No, actually she doesn't. It's really bizarre. She had more of a problem when we were living in the Dominican Republic with guys coming up and hitting on her. Here, everybody is much more respectful. They have had a couple issues, where guys have come up and asked for their phone number. They're guys. Look, the girls and her, they're beautiful. Why wouldn't you ask for their phone numbers? But it's not as pressury as it was in the DR. Like here, once they say no, they generally go away. At least to the best of my knowledge. On a future stream, I'll get her to sit next to me and we'll tell this story. Better hearing it from her than from me. If she decides to do the public YouTube channel. Up until now, she's like, I don't want to be on the camera. No problem. Who's the best thing that you've ever seen? The worst thing that I've seen here. Believe it or not, I haven't seen any nonsense, really. I know you guys see it on YouTube all the time, and it's always on social media, guys getting in fights and problems out in front of the bars. I've hardly ever. The only thing I've seen was when we first got here. I think it was probably the first week that we were here. I was out in front of Triangle Bar at like 7:30 in the morning, and there were two old British guys that were squaring off, obviously so intoxicated that neither one of them could really stand. And I was sitting there with three of the motorcycle taxis. They kind of sit over on the corner of Pothole and Soybuakau. They're just sitting there giggling and laughing, and I'm kind of standing there watching them. And I'm like, should we do anything? They're like, nah, they're gonna fall down. They're gonna fall down. Eventually, somebody did walk up and was kind of, must have been one of their friends, started yelling at them, you're going back to your hotel, you're going to your hotel. That's the worst I've seen. And I don't know, we're out an awful lot, so I don't think it's as prevalent as what social media makes it out to be. I mean, for sure, there's nonsense that goes on in town. I just don't think it happens as often as you would think it does. Favorite place outside of Thailand? Ah, man, that's tough. I like the Philippines a lot, especially the islands. Coron Island's got to be one of the most beautiful places on the planet. You guys know I love Sabang, Porto Galera, beaches, waterfalls. It's small though, so you guys would probably get bored there, but there is a little entertainment district. Cartagena, Colombia, that was pretty high on the list. Cartagena is beautiful. It's not what you would expect. It really isn't. Us coming out of the Caribbean, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, I was expecting to see a lot more urban decay and trash in Cartagena, and when you get there, it's not like that. It's like a beautiful Spanish or European city. It's absolutely stunning, and the old walled city, it's amazing. It seems very safe. You can take boat trips out to the Rosario Islands. Yeah, Cartagena's up there pretty high on my list. How long are we staying here? Oof. I don't have any plans on going back at this point. I guess that's the way to put it. We're pretty happy here. In fact, we're very happy here. I mean, there's always talk from my girlfriend and her daughter. Obviously, they'd love to live in the United States, but they've never been there. And I think we've had a lot of conversations about moving back to the States. I'm pretty much 100% no. You guys, everyone gets this picture painted of what it's like to live there, but that's TV. That's not the reality of it. And to be honest, man, I would have a real hard time moving them back. I don't know how they would do there. I really don't. Especially after living here, because living here, you don't have any of the nonsense. I'll expand on that later. We're already 25 minutes and you guys are up way late. So I want to let these guys get off. And this is a good test run. This is a really good test run. Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. You guys over on Patreon, thank you so much for staying up and helping me test this out. You guys on YouTube, I hope, thank you for letting me test this. We're going to put it over publicly. You guys can watch the replay of it. But yeah, watch for the notifications, because when we start to do this live from downtown, I think it's going to be more fun. It'll be more compelling. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. I can't believe we're already at Thanksgiving week. All of you guys back home, have a great Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family. It's hugely important. Everybody else, thank you so much for your support, man. Thank you for the subscriptions, the likes. I know we're not the most popular channel on YouTube. To do that, we have to be outlandish. You have to scream about things, go over the top, and we just don't do that. I just want to really give you a baseline view of Thailand, of Pattaya. I want to show you what's going on. I want to encourage you to travel, to come over, explore not only Thailand, but the rest of Asia and really the rest of the world. So, without going any farther into this, thank you guys so much for your support. You guys over on Patreon, none of this would be happening without you guys. That's it. Danny signing off from beautiful Pattaya, Thailand. We'll see you guys in a couple days. We're going to do another public YouTube video, and we're going to start doing the weekly stream.